What's poppin' YouTube? We back with another video. Y'all already know what's going on. Tonight has been a long night, but I'm gonna go ahead and recap it off. I did a lot of videos today, but I'm about to go ahead and recap it off with the part 2 of this NBA YoungBoy documentary. I told you guys that I was gonna go ahead and continuously watching it so I can get the more breakdown of what's been going on with the whole YoungBoy and all these situations when it came down to the beef and everything like that. So we better go ahead and get right into it. Like, comment, subscribe, more videos on the way. Y'all already know. Hit that thumbs up. We're trying to get this channel to 100K. We almost to 10K. We just hit 4K. Pats on y'all back. Y'all fucking with your boy. We getting it out the mud. We building this big brand brick by brick. And I appreciate you guys for always rocking with me. So let's get right into the video. Let's get it.
With his old label and crew, TBG or Top Boy Gorillas, YoungBoy and his brother from another mother, OG3, would start their new crew, NBA, vowing to make it in the rap game and never go broke again.
From day one, that's where NBA started from, like, me and him sitting on that porch, like, really saying we wasn't trying to go broke no more.
The formation of his new NBA crew was announced with a bang when YoungBoy dropped his earliest surviving music video, the aptly titled NBA, on his own YouTube channel. That video saw YoungBoy and 3-3 surrounded by their NBA muscle all around 38th Street with all type of firearms. And the song itself came with lyrics where YoungBoy shouted out his shooter, NBA Pap, rapping that he sends Pap to go and hit people up, as well as shouting out another shooter as NBA Connor with the Mac 11, going on to describe his NBA shooters as being as proficient with firearms as Navy SEALs. He would also rap about the cops and his ops in the city trying to hunt him down, and naming NBA outright as the gang that he represents. YoungBoy's first ever mixtape, Life Before Fame, was launched under the TBG banner, the label Top Boy Gorillas, with their logo visible on the bottom left of the cover art. But by December 1st, 2015, YoungBoy was going at it alone under his new NBA banner, with a fresh mixtape, Mind of a Menace, being released fully independently and presented under the banner of his own NBA crew. And it would appear that YoungBoy and NBA were using this project as an opportunity to drop sneak disses and disrespect towards their former crew TBG. On the project, he would drop several lines that were directed towards TBG, suggesting that they envied him and that he wasn't willing to work under somebody else's administration. YoungBoy was beginning to build momentum independently of his former crew, and he'd keep his foot on the gas into 2016, following up his second mixtape with Speed. On April the 1st, 2016, only 4 months after Mind of a Menace dropped, YoungBoy blessed his budding fanbase with a sequel, Mind of a Menace 2, and on this project, he continued to drop shade on his former crew TBG. In the intro for this tape, he suggests that they didn't live up to their promises and says that he's ready to go to war with his former allies. Then in the song A Lot of Miles, YoungBoy explains that rather than switching on TBG like some say he did, he actually claims to have just gotten smarter and that he hasn't really changed at all, perhaps indicating that he felt he got smart to what was going on and realized that his career would benefit more as a free agent. YoungBoy would seemingly indicate his team's readiness to go to war with their former crew, on the track Fact, rapping that he's riding around with Pap, OG3, and guns, looking for their ops and aiming to make their guns go boom when they see them. Around this time, it seems clear that YoungBoy formed his winning strategy of flooding the internet with music through frequent mixtape releases. Less than 3 months after Mind of a Menace 2, YoungBoy would drop yet another mixtape, Before I Go, which was released on June the 27th, 2016. And on this project, YoungBoy would begin to drop hints alluding to the ongoing beef with G Money, the star rapper of his former crew TBG, Top Boy Gorillas. YoungBoy would also be shooting more threats to his former crew on the song Change, saying YoungBoy not TBG, and if someone plays, he's gonna get it. And another lyric on the song Change seemed to acknowledge a rumor that G Money had actually hooked up with YoungBoy's sister, with YoungBoy saying he won't speak on sleeping with my sister, something that perhaps wasn't public knowledge at the time of this song's release. But around a year later, G Money would openly admit and kind of brag about hooking up with YoungBoy's sister in a Say Cheese interview.
He mad about his sister too, though.
About his sister?
Yeah, I had a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
The beef between YoungBoy and G Money would be further complicated by YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla. Boozilla repped BBG, or Bottom Boy Gorillas. They were the main rivals of TBG until YoungBoy started his NBA crew. Story goes that G Money from TBG was beefing with Boozilla from BBG over some stolen drugs. Drugs which some believe YoungBoy himself may have actually stolen, blaming Boozilla. This theory is based on lyrics G Money rapped on his song Industry, where he claimed YoungBoy's own cousin wanted to kill him. So, on July the 16th, 2016, YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla drops the song Forgive Me, where he's dissing TBG and repping BBG. He wears a BBG t-shirt in the video, and he shouts out the Bottom Boys as his crew. He'd rap lyrics seeming to suggest that he was a shooter and that he wants to kill a rapper. But more specifically, he dissed another local rapper by the name of FL Doosa. Doosa is from the FL, or Forever Loyalty crew, who would later be closely affiliated with TBG, with Doosa himself later dropping numerous songs with Fredo Bang, Lit Yoshi, and other TBG artists. In Boozilla's song Forgive Me, he raps that Doosa is scared to walk through the South, and that he's laying down the law in his area. Apparently the beef between Boozilla and Doosa was extremely personal and would eventually turn deadly. But before things would escalate to more violence, YoungBoy would end up making a huge leap forward in his rap career. On September the 21st, 2016, YoungBoy drops the video for his breakout track, 38 Baby. Named after the street he grew up on, Northside 38, this song was a window into his life, fresh out of the streets. The track painted a picture of his daily life, drinking lean, smoking with demons, and sending his hitters at people for any reason he can find, explaining how he's not able to go anywhere without being armed, and having to look out for old friends who turned on him over envy. Frankly, this song described a lot of pressure for a 16-year-old kid to be dealing with at the time. In the track, he also seemed to drop shade on G-Money and TBG, denying their claims that they blew him up as a rapper and claiming that they just don't like the fact that he's now blowing up faster than them. The music video for 38 Baby saw YoungBoy and his friends toting plenty of firearms, and many people were taken aback by seeing somebody so young surrounded by so much danger and communicating the stark reality of their life so clearly over a catchy beat. Hell, footage would later even circulate showing that YoungBoy actually recorded many of the songs from around this period with an actual AK-47 on him in the recording booth. This 16-year-old YoungBoy was living a life truly beyond his years, and this spectacle would attract the attention of many, many more fans and music industry players. The song 38 Baby and its music video has garnered over 100 million views on YouTube to this day, and the song itself was followed by a full mixtape also titled 38 Baby, which dropped on October the 28th, 2016. This project would truly be the watershed moment of YoungBoy's career professionally, and he would finally get co-signs from respected rappers in the industry. As on the mixtape itself, YoungBoy secured collaborations with fellow Louisiana Baton Rouge legends such as Kevin Gates and Boosie Badass, as well as a verse from his day one brother OG3. In fact, Kevin Gates, after appearing on the 38 Baby mixtape track Like Me, even got a portrait of YoungBoy tattooed on his right leg just to show his admiration for the rising Louisiana legend. And Boosie would invite YoungBoy to feature on his November 2016 track, My Lil Son, where YoungBoy rapped menacingly about sliding on his ops with NBA Joe and 3-3. But back to the 38 Baby mixtape. As well as gaining YoungBoy the respect of heavy hitters in the Baton Rouge rap scene, it also gained YoungBoy an enormous amount of fame and success in the eyes of his fanbase. But bizarrely, in very YoungBoy fashion, rather than reveling in the success of his latest release, just a week after the 38 Baby project dropped, he came out with yet another mixtape, Mind of a Man 3, releasing on November the 4th, 2016. This time,
boy working,
with yet
ain't he?
another major industry co-sign, a remix of his song Murder featuring Atlanta blood rapper 21 Savage, a remix which also dropped with a music video the very same day. YoungBoy even later claimed that he became a member of 21 Savage's set of the Blood Gang, 4L, and they seemingly fostered a close relationship, something which would unfortunately deteriorate years later. But regardless, at this point YoungBoy seemingly had fully muscled his way into the music industry, and it would be these major moves that would have YoungBoy's name ringing not just in the streets, but also in the corner offices of record labels. At a certain point in 2016, he started working with super manager Fee Banks, a Louisiana industry legend who had apparently helped Lil Wayne start Young Money and previously managed Kevin Gates. Fee would begin to advocate on behalf of YoungBoy in the music industry, ultimately putting him in the position to field multi-million-dollar offers from major record labels. So at this point, YoungBoy was seemingly set. He'd survived the dangerous streets of Northside 38, escaping the trenches with his life, and escaping the clutches of his former crew TBG, as a free agent able to take his career wherever he wanted without hindrance. The problem is, sometimes you can rise to the top so fast that it hurts. And unfortunately for YoungBoy, troubling legal issues seem to arrive just as quickly as the money and fame did. And unfortunately, due to the brewing troubles in the streets between his former crew and his extended family, YoungBoy would end up being placed in a difficult position, ultimately catching a serious case that had the potential to put a complete stop to his promising career just as it was getting started. While YoungBoy's star is beginning to rise, the deadly war on the streets of Baton Rouge is raging on. After departing from the crew TBG, Top Boy Gorilla, YoungBoy and his Never Broke Again or NBA collective would become bitter rivals with the former crew, and this situation was only complicated further by the ongoing drama between TBG and their original rivals BBG, Bottom Boy Gorillas, a crew which YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla was a prominent member of. Despite the two apparently having a falling out in 2015, it would seem that by 2016, Boozilla and YoungBoy's NBA crew had made things right, as Boozilla would post on Twitter that he'd forgiven, as well as tweeting warning people not to play with BBG or NBA, suggesting that these two crews were in alliance against TBG and any of their affiliates. But things would all come to a head for these warring groups at the end of 2016. On July the 16th, 2016, YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla drops the song Forgive Me, where he's dissing TBG and repping BBG, with lyrics in the song dissing another local rapper by the name of FL Dusa, saying Dusa is scared to walk through the South and that they're laying down the law in their area. It would seem that this lyric was taken as a personal challenge by his opposition, as just after midnight on November the 2nd, 2016, YoungBoy's cousin, 18-year-old BBG Boozilla, real name Keandre Ricks, would be riding his bike near the 2000 block of Nebraska Street, less than a block from his family home. And it was here where he was targeted by gunmen who shot him multiple times in the upper torso and left him dead in the middle of the street. Boozilla's mother would go on to do a distraught interview with WAFB News after reports of the brutal killing became public.
You gotta bury your child. This is so wrong when people kill kids.
Kenya Taylor is still grieving more than a month after her son, 18-year-old Keandre Ricks, was shot and killed just steps away from his Nebraska Street home.
It's like I'm dreaming and I haven't woke up yet. Like, I had a bad dream. I'm just waiting on the Lord to wake me up.
Taylor walked us over to where her son's body was found, a place she's visited often, trying to make sense of the senseless killing.
Then this way he must have fell it right here. Could have had blood all right here.
Now, after this shooting, things get very complicated. It's widely believed that the murder of Boozilla was in connection with the ongoing feud that he had going with FL Dusa, with the majority of the comments on Boozilla's music video Forgive Me seeming to mock him, saying that he said Dusa is scared to walk through the South, and suggesting that this caused somebody to come through and take his life. Now, despite the differences they may have had in the past, naturally the murder of Boozilla would have devastating effects on his cousin YoungBoy and other members of NBA and BBG. So, unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for those on Boozilla's side to attempt to get revenge for his murder. Boozilla was killed around midnight on Wednesday the 2nd November 2016, and retaliation would come around 9.5 hours later, when around 9:30 AM, on the 2000 block of Kentucky Street, just a couple of blocks away from where the fatal shooting of Boozilla occurred, a vehicle containing YoungBoy and 3 of his NBA affiliates pulls up and starts shooting. Unfortunately, this attempt at revenge ends up going wrong, and somebody from YoungBoy's group ends up getting shot in the neck. Allegedly, NBA Joe.
Police find a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the neck, saying he was shot in a different neighborhood just a few streets away.
With rumors circulating, debating whether or not it was friendly fire from YoungBoy or his side hitting Joe, or the targets of their gunfire returning fire and connecting. And years later, the police report from the incident would even suggest that YoungBoy himself had been firing from the vehicle with an assault rifle. Regardless of exactly who was responsible, at this point the getaway car flees the scene, with the shooters and the injured man driving to the area of May and East Lakeshore Drive. Ultimately, this car would end up getting a flat tire and crashing at the LSU Lakes. Here, the shooters flee, leaving the injured man in his vehicle, where he's fortunately found by police and given medical attention. Naturally, it didn't take long for details of these outrageous back-to-back shootings to hit the news.
At this hour, there are a lot of questions remaining around 2 Baton Rouge shootings. One left a teenager dead, the other ended with the victim wounded at LSU Lakes.
Possibly 3 different scenes, and all 3 may be connected. That's what Baton Rouge police are trying to figure out. They've been interviewing witnesses, but so far they do not have any suspects. Just after midnight, Baton Rouge police went out to Nebraska Street. 18-year-old Keandre Ricks was found dead, lying in the street, shot multiple times in the chest. Neighbors in the area tell us they saw a silver-colored Hyundai with 3 people inside driving around the area late night and into this morning. Then, shortly after 9:30 this morning, police get a call from a man shot once in the neck around the LSU Lakes. When they finally found him, he was in a silver-colored Hyundai. He was transported to the hospital and listed in stable condition as of now. Baton Rouge police have said the shooting did not start here at the lakes. Instead, they're looking to see if 3 different scenes are all connected. The first was at Nebraska, well, just 8 streets over, or 0.4 miles away. Around 9:30 this morning, police say a man was shot in the neck. He or the suspect then drove 1.4 miles to East Lakeshore in May around the LSU lakes and called police for help. This is not a random shooting. They believe the shooter and victim actually did know each other.
Surprisingly, however, the violence was still not over, and the following day, on the 3rd of November 2016, at roughly 9:49 a.m., shooters would return to the street where Boozilla lived with his family and was killed, with officers nearby claiming to have heard 37 gunshots, apparently fired by two shooters, who then fled the scene in a getaway vehicle. They would leave two homes on the street riddled with bullets, and at this point, the violence in Baton Rouge, held just in this street alone, was spiraling out of control. And at a certain point, the danger was so high that the authorities placed the local school on lockdown out of fear that further shootings would affect the children in the local community.
A number of schools in East Baton Rouge Parish are on lockdown for separate reasons. Today, we start with the 3 schools that were also placed on lockdown yesterday.
Police are still on scene here at the intersection of Nebraska and East Harrison Street. They're looking into reports of shots fired earlier today. Now you can see details are still very limited, but much of the investigation is centered around this white home here right near the intersection of East Harrison and Nebraska Street. This is the latest in a rash of recent shootings in this area over the past few days, including one that left an 18-year-old dead. The teen was found shot to death Wednesday in the 2000 block of Nebraska Street. That incident happened around midnight. Then yesterday morning around 9:30, a man was shot in the neck on Kentucky Street, which is just a couple of blocks from the spot where that fatal shooting occurred. The victim left the area in a car and then parked around the LSU lakes to call for help. These recent violent incidents near Nebraska have left some residents feeling uneasy.
At this point, even people living on this street were being interviewed by the news, telling them that it's like living in hell.
I live on this street, and this about the worst street to live on. You say living in hell? This is hell right here. The young folks don't have no respect for old Elizabeth.
At some point, the shooting would stop, the smoke would clear, and local investigators would finally be able to piece together exactly what had happened and putting those involved in handcuffs. A 17-year-old man by the name of Trayshawn Coates would be arrested and charged with second-degree murder for the killing of Boozilla, along with a 27-year-old man by the name of Monty Carey. This was reported in The Advocate that also published an interview with Boozilla's mother. In it, she would claim that since the killing, her other children's grades have fallen in school and that they're suffering behavioural issues. And I thought that this was an important detail to include, because you have to remember that when somebody gets killed in a gang feud, it starts a chain reaction, and ultimately this cycle of violence affects far more than just the victims.
Whether it's their lost their brother, they didn't do
depression following the incident, or surviving friends who vow to commit acts of violence in revenge, a vicious cycle is started when that first killing happens that only accelerates with more retaliation, dragging more and more innocent people into this deadly cycle of violence. Anyway, despite the rumours that FL Dusa was involved in the killing of Boozilla after he dissed him on the song Forgive Me, Dusa, real name Renard Clifton, would not be connected to this incident officially, though theories would circulate online suggesting that he was the one that sent the hit. He would remain free following this incident, going on to release songs like Straight Facts. However, he would end up in jail on a separate attempted murder charge stemming from a double shooting on the 3rd of June 2018, which we'll go into in detail later. But with the shooters of Boozilla in cuffs, the Baton Rouge police would next be tasked with finding those NBA members who slid the following day, with one member who got shot in the neck already in the arms of law enforcement. Their next job was to get their hands on YoungBoy himself. A warrant was issued for his arrest, and he would be tracked down by authorities, being arrested on November the 28th, being taken into custody by US Marshals just before he could get on stage at a show in Austin, Texas, in dramatic scenes that were even caught on camera.
Hey, get inside, get inside. Hey, get the hell inside, get the fuck inside.
YoungBoy was charged on suspicion of attempted first-degree murder from the alleged drive-by shooting, while NBA Big B, real name Trulondrick Norman, was also involved in the shooting but wouldn't get arrested for his role in it until 2019. There was also NBA Ben 10, real name Ben Fields, who would also be identified as having participated in this drive-by shooting. As a result, following the arrest of the NBA crew and YoungBoy himself, the local news would begin to report on this dramatic takedown of one of Baton Rouge's most promising rappers.
17-year-old rapper Kentrell Gaulden, better known by his stage name NBA YoungBoy, is behind bars tonight after being taken into custody by federal authorities before a concert in Austin, Texas.
Tonight, police say they've arrested 17-year-old Kentrell Gaulden, a rapper known by his stage name NBA YoungBoy, in connection to a drive-by shooting on Kentucky Street. Detectives believe those shootings may have been in retaliation to Rick's death and say more arrests are possible as they continue to investigate.
At this point, YoungBoy would be taken back to Louisiana and booked into prison with a $200,000 bond being set. But the Baton Rouge police weren't done seeking justice yet. as the final piece of the puzzle would fall into place once police announced an arrest in the third shooting, which occurred on Boozilla Street the day after NBA members had attempted to get revenge for his death the previous night, with cops identifying 20-year-old Derek Geis, who was taken into custody, accused of being the getaway driver for 2 other shooters, being charged with attempted murder, attempted second-degree murder, aggravated criminal damage of property, illegal use of a weapon, and simple criminal damage to property. And he would ultimately end up pleading down to a lesser weapons charge and getting only 2 years in jail, with cops ultimately identifying one of the shooters in the case as Michael Odenyinma, as well as, shockingly, Trayshawn Coates, that very same person who was charged for the Boozilla murder just the day before. Which means that if true, the person that killed Boozilla did it, got spun on by NBA, and still went back the very next day and shot up that same block again.
Wow.
But unfortunately, due to him being just age 17, there was never any public reporting on whether or not he was found guilty for these crimes or sentenced. The murder of Boozilla and days of deadly violence that followed truly rocked this Baton Rouge community, as well as those connected to the victims. Many NBA members would get RIP Boo tattoos on their necks, and others would be seen toting guns at Boozilla's grave. Regular celebrations would be held called Boo Day on his birthday in his honor, and at the 2018 celebration of Boozilla's life, his mother would speak to a crowd, delivering some poignant words to a number of friends and family who had gathered in the area.
It's just my baby time to go. Yes, it hurts. But the good Lord called him home, so he in a better place. And they asked him to come back when he much want to come back here. He just gonna wait on us to come up there, so y'all gotta do good, so y'all can make it to heaven. He was like, do this for the Lord. I know a lot of people out here doing a lot of stupid things, and I ain't gonna tell y'all don't handle y'all business, but if they ain't coming at you, don't worry about it. But if they come at you, you handle your business. That's all I can tell you. But all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pray for all of y'all. Pray y'all make it home safe, and pray for y'all every day. Because I don't want nobody to go through what I'm going through, because this really hurts. This like about to send me insane. Like some days I do good and some days I have my bad days, and today just a good day. But I don't want to see nobody mama going through what I'm going through, nobody's siblings, nobody's family, nothing, because that really hurts. They like when somebody do things like that, change the person's whole life. You think you don't hurt that person, you ain't hurting that person because they ain't meant for them to be here, they gonna leave here. So that person at peace, but that person's family is suffering. So all I want y'all to do is do good, get y'all education, be the best y'all can be. The sky's the limit. Whatever y'all want to do, y'all do.
It's important to remember that no matter how many songs or social media posts glamorize the sliding that goes on between these gangs, behind this are grieving families, mothers and siblings who have to live with the consequences of these split-second decisions. And as she said, when somebody dies in the gang wars, that person who died is at peace. It's everyone else who was innocent to the original beef that has to live on with the grief of someone else's impulsive decisions. Sadly, it would take many years for YoungBoy to realize the consequences of the violence playing out in his music and in his life. But for now, he would be stuck in the system waiting for a chance to plead his case in front of a judge. At the time of these charges, YoungBoy was only 17 years old, but Louisiana is one of the few states in the US where 17-year-olds can be charged as adults. And so, YoungBoy spent December 2016 to August 2017 incarcerated, waiting for updates on his case. But, at least for the fans, it wasn't all bad, because while YoungBoy was locked up, his management team got to work and did their best to keep his music career alive. They created an updated version of his previous project, Before I Go, re-releasing it as Before I Go Reloaded, removing the songs Stuck With Me, Change, and All Night, and adding that 21 Savage remix of Murder, along with the track Bands and Fact. Then, on April the 14th, 2017, the label also released a reloaded version of his Mind of a Menace 3 mixtape, which removed the Murder remix with 21 Savage because they just put it on the Before I Go Reloaded mixtape, as well as taking off the tracks Life and Booting in this, and adding the tracks Blowing Up and Just Made a Play featuring Moneybagg Yo. So, while YoungBoy was sitting in jail, all of these songs that were being released were picking up heat in the streets, and fans would eagerly await his release. And eventually, to some people's surprise, YoungBoy was actually able to cut a pretty favourable deal with prosecutors, copping to the lesser charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. On August the 22nd, 2017, YoungBoy was sentenced to a term of 10 years suspended prison time and 3 years of active supervised probation, which essentially meant that he was able to get out of jail and return to his music career. But the potential to have to go back and serve a full 10 years in prison would now follow him around for 3 years, along with a probation officer who would be closely supervising his every move going forward. In addition to that, he was also ordered to pay a fine of $5,000 and do 250 hours of supervised community service, which apparently even included doing an anti-violence PSA, which to the disappointment of fans everywhere, never seemed to actually surface publicly. But YoungBoy wouldn't simply waltz out of the courtroom, because apparently during that sentence, he had what was described as a tense but respectful back and forth with District Judge Bonnie Jackson. Apparently during the case, she admonished him for going out with his boys looking for trouble and finding it. But YoungBoy, to his credit, kept his cool during this exchange, taking full responsibility for everything that had gone down in the incident. Judge Jackson went on to say that she didn't care about YoungBoy's celebrity status and suggested that his rap music wasn't helping the high rates of violence in the community that he was coming out of. The judge would tell him directly that the genre of music that he makes has a lot to do with the mindset that people have, suggesting that it normalized violence. Apparently, YoungBoy actually interjected at this point, reminding the judge that nobody had actually died in the incident, with the judge clapping back, saying that he's lucky that he's such a bad aim and that he wasn't facing first-degree murder charges. It's also worth pointing out that the court did hear about how YoungBoy had been trying to make a difference in his community by looking after his mother, buying her a home, and giving out school supplies to local children. The judge would then make a smearing and condescending remark about the fact that YoungBoy had 3 kids at 17 years old. In response to that dig by the judge, YoungBoy promised to do right by his family, and once YoungBoy accepted his plea, he would be released from jail ahead of the actual sentencing, being welcome homed by hotshot rappers like Boosie and Young Dolph. YoungBoy would be seen fresh home on social media, being greeted by his NBA crew, and rocking the same Burberry button-up shirt that he was booked for the crime in.
Man, dog, they so young, bro.
Oh, Montana. What up, Meg, man? What's up, baby? I'm cool, man. Out in Texas, man. We got to see what the deal is.
Damn, look at that. Oh, so young, bro.
Montana in a white Maybach.
It's the best feeling ever. We got KD right there. We got Davis. We got Max Harden. Man, you know what it is.
YoungBoy was fresh home, and music would be the first thing on his mind.
I love
He was
seeing that,
filming
man.
Freestyles in the same outfit and surrounded by his crew and manager Big Dump.
Count 3 here, tell them I don't want to chat in the studio with Shade. In the studio with Strange on the grind every day. I've been chasing that sack real thick.
I remember this video.
His first major
Everybody
release
did
since his release
videos
would be
about
the
that.
biggest song
That
of his
nigga
career
legs
so
was
far,
cocked
the
like a
track
motherfucker in that
Untouchable.
video.
This was a big single where YoungBoy spoke optimistically about making it out of the struggle of the Baton Rouge streets and vowing to make the most of this opportunity that he had to make it through music, and declaring his intention to move out of Baton Rouge to Los Angeles, where he would hope that he no longer needs to carry a gun. Untouchable ended up hitting number 95 on the Billboard charts, becoming YoungBoy's first solo single to chart in the United States. By August 2017, YoungBoy was back in the studio, ready to focus on his music career, despite the prying eyes of a probation officer set to be following him for the coming years. So, following the successful release of Untouchable, YoungBoy's team would drop his latest mixtape, AI YoungBoy, on August the 4th, 2017, a project which would end up landing at the impressive number 24 on Billboard's 200 album chart. This also included another popular single, the track No Smoke, which surpassed Untouchable and ended up landing at number 61 on Billboard's Hot 100 singles chart. YoungBoy was
Bro, where
stalling
the fuck
charts
was I at
and
when all this
attracting
shit was
the
happening,
attention
bro?
of both labels and other rappers. Funnily enough, on the song GG, YoungBoy seemed to suggest that Chicago rapper Lil Durk and his collective had tried to sign him to his crew and record label, OTF, or Only the Family.
Man,
But YoungBoy
picture
had
that.
bigger ideas than signing to another.
Picture if that actually happened. Damn, that's...
As only days after YoungBoy's sentencing went public, it would then be announced that he had officially signed to Atlantic Records in a huge 5-album contract reportedly worth $2 million. And YoungBoy would seemingly celebrate this deal by purchasing a tiger and telling fans that he got paid a big bag.
I'm like, you pay me.
You pay me.
I got that bag. I'm getting paid for everything I do.
So, despite losing his cousin Boozilla and very nearly losing his freedom attempting to get revenge, in the end, YoungBoy would escape a long prison sentence, returning to the music career that was buzzing before he went to jail and taking it to new heights, landing chart positions on Billboard and a multi-million-dollar deal with a major record label. Things were on the up for the NBA crew, but despite the wins they were having in the industry, there would still be tension in the streets, as YoungBoy had a whole host of enemies who would be dissing him while he was locked up, and desperate to see him fall when he was released, with the NBA crew ultimately taking drastic action to protect their star prospect. When YoungBoy began picking up steam as a rapper in Baton Rouge, naturally, he attracted a lot of opposition. After parting ways with former street crew turned label TBG Top Boy Gorilla, he would find himself at war with their main artists, G Money and Fredo Bang. But they wouldn't be the only enemies that YoungBoy would make in the city. In November 2015, YoungBoy dropped a song called Homicide, a collaboration with another Baton Rouge rapper by the name of Scotty Kane. They would appear together on the song and in the music video, and apparently YoungBoy would become friends with Kane. But later, they had a falling out, with some suggesting that Kane may have felt slighted by lyrics on his song So Long, where YoungBoy rapped that he blew up in his city and that he was getting views even without the song with Scotty. This was followed by an IG live clip where YoungBoy would rap lyrics saying that someone changed on him. Apparently at some point Scotty Kane caught YoungBoy in a studio and slapped him, later taking to social media to explain his side of the story, saying that YoungBoy had begged him for a verse and after asked him for money for shoes, and saying that he was trying to get close to Scotty Kane's crew because he had fallen out with TBG, with Kane even going as far as to tell YoungBoy if he really has money, then send a hit and kill him.
I'ma address the situation like a man. Your bitch ass rolled my cousin. Y'all came to the studio, he begged me to do the first verse. I did not want to do it. I thought about it. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get a chance. I did the verse. Your bitch ass asked me to put some on your shoes. You not with my label, bitch ass, so you. I'm doing what I'm going to have with you on shoes and videos for. It was over there riding TBG, they wanted to raw your ass out. Now your ass come trying to rap mafia music. Now you get on and do all this. You got bread, kill it. Drop your bread, man. What the Don't do all that. Hear me, come see me. Living like that. Cause you know me. I'm living like that all day, every day. You know how I'm coming.
In response to this deadly threat from Kane,
Man.
YoungBoy would reply to this by rapping more lyrics from the song Gravity and showing that he had goons behind him ready to shoot.
Yeah, and I don't owe nobody but my mama, boy. And my they was doing super honey, boy. Remember, I ain't had nothing to eat, I go steal for it. Show you my bank account, I swear I got 6 figures large. Around me, they hating, probably won't snake me for it. These under disguise, living under the board. I hate these they wasn't made for it. Lord, please don't mistake me, play gon' die, cause I ain't going for it. In this life that I'm living, I pray I make it through the night. As I ride through my city, I'm thinking, looking at the lights.
YoungBoy would appear to address the incident on the song Who You Supposed to Be, admitting that he was sent an address where he pulled up and where he was confronted by 3 people, and seemingly admitting to crying when they pulled out guns on him, but still mocking them for not using the guns, and ending the track seemingly threatening to kill Scotty Kane. Later on, Pablo El Chapo, who had apparently intervened in this incident where guns had been pulled on YoungBoy in a studio, posted a clip to social media seemingly confirming that YoungBoy cried and suggesting that he had saved his life.
But I do know, little young boy, when you pulled them rods on your ass, you was crying in that studio. I saved your motherfucking life. I told my youngin' man, leave that slide, bro. That crying, man. Crying in front of his manager, man. Let that slide. He ain't about that gang shit. Y'all asked him to fight, the won't fight. Then when he brought up the gun, we could do it with the gun. 2 or 3 guns in your face, you was crying. Ass boy. Chapo saved.
Kane would actually respond to YoungBoy in a diss track of his own, only days after his cousin Boozilla was gunned down. Scotty Kane would drop the YoungBoy diss track NBA Smoke, produced by prolific TBG producer Austin on the Track. On this track, Kane would return YoungBoy's death threats with threats of his own, as well as saying that somebody killed Boozilla and he didn't do anything about it. Kind of an ironic lyric, considering that a month after this song dropped, YoungBoy would indeed be charged with double attempted murder, attempting to do something about Boozilla. But while YoungBoy was in jail for doing exactly that, Scotty would drop a video on Instagram seemingly distancing himself from this beef.
Hey, look, man, I'm on the road to success, man. I ain't with none of that. Y'all can have that shit. I ain't with that bitch. I ain't trying to kill none of you. I ain't trying to do none of that with none of you, man. Y'all need to have that. And I got kids. I got so much going on good for me, dog. Like, it's a lot happening right now. I ain't with no copping deuces and nothing. I just ain't with it. Like, I ain't having this, dog. Like, too many people that's depending on me, too many people that care about me. I don't need to be doing all this dumb. Like, I gotta do this for my kids and my family and everybody else that love me, dog. Like, all y'all can have it, man. Y'all want it, y'all can have it.
And he would go on to say in an interview with Gutter TV that he regretted dropping his death-threatening YoungBoy diss, NBA Smoke.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, even though NBA Smoke did so many views, I regret it. You feel me? Like, I'ma honestly say that. Like, I didn't want to do that, you know what I'm saying? But so, you know, it's certain shit that you gotta. I feel like that was my flaw, that song. You feel me? So y'all is saying that raw and all that did try to do this and that. I don't even like the song. Tell the truth, I hate that. I don't care how many views it got on it. You feel me?
However, the beef would be reignited when YoungBoy returned home from jail. Scotty Kane would post a clip to social media showcasing a long set of both bankrolls and fingernails and saying, "Get your cash, you don't get any money."
Boy, get your cash up, bro. You ain't get no.
This would attract a response from OG3, who posted a picture of YoungBoy with money and a caption saying what Kane was holding ain't half of what YoungBoy's holding. This would apparently prompt a response from Kane, where he said that OG3 was holding his big dog's money. Now, I couldn't actually find that post, but YoungBoy seemingly responded from the back of his Maybach, even dragging his manager Fee Banks into the situation.
I don't know what's wrong with these. Wanna listen to my music, be on my got a free young boy this. Say Fee, man, you better tell him I ain't got no big dog, man. Everything in my pocket for me. Wrong with these, man. Tripping, boy, get off my. You know what it is.
Apparently, a few months later, Scotty got his chain taken, and YoungBoy would clown him online immediately after the thieves exposed that they had taken his chain. However, something else would also happen during this beat.
They be wildin', bro.
A prominent producer for TBG, Austin on the Track, who had made numerous beats for songs made by YoungBoy's biggest rival G Money and Scotty Kane himself, as well as landing credits for Chicago rappers like G Herbo. Austin on the Track was quite literally the person who made the beat for Scotty Kane's NBA YoungBoy diss track NBA Smoke. Well, at around 7 PM on the 10th of August 2017, TBG affiliated producer Austin on the Track, real name Austin Rashad Norwood, was sitting in a car with another person outside the Ardenwood Village apartment complex on North Ardenwood Drive. At this point, somebody turned up and sprayed the car with bullets, after which the suspected shooter fled the scene in a car before crashing and escaping on foot. This would leave the passenger injured and Austin himself dead at the scene. This was a brutal assassination, with investigators being seen examining the bullet-riddled scene. But in a chilling turn of events, the body of Austin would even be left in place in the driver's seat of the car, which was towed away from the murder scene, with detectives claiming that the entire car with the body inside it had become a crime scene and would need to be moved with the body to a controlled environment so that they could process all of the DNA evidence. Police would ultimately describe the murder as a suspected robbery, with cops claiming that Austin and his cousin had gone to an address to sell a cell phone that they had advertised online, a situation described on the news as a setup.
A man is shot and killed while trying to sell a phone on North Ardenwood Drive last night.
2 men shot after police say they were lured to the Ardenwood Village apartments in hopes of selling a cell phone to someone they met online. At some point, that transaction taking a dark turn.
While there, the individuals attempted to rob them, shot into the vehicle, striking both victims.
With the victims left for dead inside the car, the suspected shooter allegedly took off. Sergeant Elgin McNeely says for now, it's unclear if whoever pulled the trigger acted alone.
We're just keeping it open-ended and not going to dictate if it's 1, 2, or 3, 4 different suspects, but as the investigation continues, we'll determine all the individuals that was involved.
Now, as far as I was able to find out, this murder was never solved. And once again, let me make it very clear, there's nothing connecting YoungBoy or the NBA crew to this crime, but it's certainly yet another case of somebody involved closely in the rap scene in Baton Rouge, in this case, the producer of prominent YoungBoy diss tracks, who seemingly wound up losing his life in a brutal gangland-style slaying, with the police none the wiser as to who was responsible. A month after this brutal murder, in September, it was believed that Scotty Kane and YoungBoy would finally squash their beef, after Scotty Kane posted a picture of them together on a FaceTime call, along with a caption suggesting that they were on positive terms and both focused on earning money and success rather than beef. Though it would seem that the NBA crew would eventually have the last laugh, as many years later, Scotty Kane would get a taste of his own medicine. He himself ultimately wound up getting jumped on camera in a studio, just like YoungBoy did. And OG3 would later even be seen on social media with the person who had allegedly jumped Kane. Fortunately for YoungBoy, the Scotty Kane beef would be resolved without anyone losing their life. Sadly, however, not everyone would be so lucky.
Shit, bro, damn.
The most prominent beef that YoungBoy was involved in during his rise to fame was with G Money. Real name Garrett Burton, he was a former friend and a star over at YoungBoy's former label, TBG. YoungBoy's other biggest opposition, Scotty Kane, would release the scathing YoungBoy diss track NBA Smoke just days after YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla got killed. And while YoungBoy ended up in jail on attempted murder charges for attempting to avenge Boozilla, G Money was linking up with YoungBoy's ops and building alliances to diss him. In January 2017, G Money linked up with Pablo El Chapo, one of the people who'd been in the studio when Scotty Kane allegedly stuck up YoungBoy with a gun and made him cry. They would collaborate on a new YoungBoy diss titled WNBA Smoke, where they referred to him as WNBA YoungBoy and dissed him extensively. G Money would rap saying that he will send a blitz to take out YoungBoy and his team for dissing him, as well as warning YoungBoy that he will kill him for beefing with them. G-Money also appeared on Scotty Kane's song Ain't Gone Ride, where G-Money rapped how he heard someone dissing him, but he can't kill them because they keep posting on Instagram. When YoungBoy got out of jail, he dropped his AI YoungBoy mixtape, and that included numerous lyrics seemingly responding to G-Money, like the track Ride On 'Em, where YoungBoy seemed to say outright that he's not squashing the beef and that he just talked to the devil, as well as saying that the only way the beef is going to end is if G-Money gets shot. And he would go on to rap that he's dropping a bag on him and his crew, and that they're going to ride on him and smash him. YoungBoy was seemingly letting the whole world know that he was planning to pay to have G-Money killed. And throughout the verses, he would make bold claims saying that he's going to get it by any means and that the beef is never getting squashed. He would claim that his rising fame had his rivals mad, and saying that somebody is going to get their head bust for making a diss song about him. YoungBoy would also claim to be the reason that their friend got killed, going on to rap that somebody shot up his grandmother's house with a .22, but his shooters got back and sent the ops a special delivery from YoungBoy. Now, it's unclear exactly who YoungBoy is talking about having had killed here, but it could have something to do with a rumor that members from a TBG-affiliated crew called TMH, or Too Many Hitters, shot up YoungBoy's grandmother's house, with TMH32 later denying having shot up YoungBoy's grandmother's house in his song FAN. Anyway, clearly G-Money wasn't scared of YoungBoy's counter-threats, so he would decide to turn the disrespect up to a whole new level. On August the 15th, 2017, a sensational interview emerged where G-Money seemed to be talking extremely recklessly about YoungBoy, suggesting that they used to be homies, but pointing the finger at YoungBoy, saying that he started sneak dissing him once he became successful.
So, I mean, do y'all have history? Was y'all ever cool, you know, years prior?
Yeah, that little like my little partner. He used to be like my little brother. He stayed with me and everything. Everything was still all good until he started, you know what I'm saying, like doing his own thing, getting him a little buzz, getting a little money. He just got the big head and just started like in it, like the feelings he been feeling probably deep down inside that he was scared to put out. He let that out once he got a name and got from down here.
And then G-Money dropped maximum shade by being very disrespectful about YoungBoy's sister and saying that he'd slept with her.
He mad about his sister too, though.
About his sister?
Yeah, I had her a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Initially, G-Money and YoungBoy would go back and forth on Instagram, with G-Money making a post suggesting that he's not jealous of YoungBoy because he's already rich and living where the white folks live.
Living like I'm already rich and I ain't even rich yet. And I'm living with the white folks. What's wrong with these niggas? Don't impress me, man. You hear me? I know real money, man. Don't impress me, man. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Copycat. You the next you see me do, you want to do, but you supposed to be up, though.
YoungBoy would reply with his own story, asking G-Money why he doesn't like him, and saying that he doesn't like G-Money and he's down to beef.
Saying, Dick, what you don't like me or something like that or rap? I'm saying, like, what you got something against me? Say that damn, man. Don't be on Instagram that in 2 different states. You know the real. Stop playing. What you said? Huh? I'm about beefing. What it is? You hear me? You is. Get it. Don't you, man. I don't like you. I'm gonna keep on it. I don't like you.
G-Money would reply saying F YoungBoy and he doesn't care if he doesn't like him, going on to accuse him of copying his style by posting pictures with a Mercedes G-Wagon.
Like a you know, for you to like, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? Just copping off I pull up in that wagon, you go take a picture by a G-Wagon. Boy, you really my son. Stop watching me, man. Oh yeah. Get off.
Then, a few days later, G-Money would officially go at YoungBoy on wax with the scathing diss track, Industry. G-Money's diss song Industry called out YoungBoy and the whole NBA crew on a number of bases. It had those lyrics that seemed to hint that YoungBoy had been the one who tipped off G-Money about his cousin Boozilla running off with drugs, and it had more lines seemingly confirming that he had hooked up with YoungBoy's sister, putting maximum disrespect on him. He also dissed YoungBoy for sneak dissing him, and as the title of the song suggested, it dropped shade on YoungBoy for signing a record deal and no longer being in the streets, with G-Money suggesting that after signing this deal, YoungBoy had turned Industry. The song also had another important lyric that seemed to confirm rumors that G-Money had actually had a price put on his head. G-Money even mentions YoungBoy's mother, saying he can't kill him because he's Sharonda's son, indicating that G-Money knows YoungBoy's mother well. He also called out 33 and Montana from NBA, saying that they don't want beef with him. G-Money also brushed off YoungBoy's earlier suggestion that he could pay to have him killed, saying that he will kill anyone who tries them, ultimately declaring Baton Rouge his city. The music video for Industry also included a Chucky doll, which was actually a reference to an early YoungBoy video called What I Was Taught that dropped way back in September 2016. But G-Money wasn't done there. The following month, he would continue to diss YoungBoy, dropping yet another diss song, this time in a remix to Bodak Yellow, calling YoungBoy a fake and warning him not to mess with TBG, as well as saying that YoungBoy is hating on G over a woman and that he used to be TBG but switched up on the crew. G would also shade YoungBoy for signing to a label, saying that by contrast, he got to where he was without a deal, as well as warning that he would be sending shooters to YoungBoy's home. He would reference the NBA crew, saying that he thinks he's Steph Curry, referring to a player in the actual NBA known for his accurate shooting, and G would end the song saying that somebody tried to kill him but failed and got killed in return. It would seem for a while that YoungBoy just wasn't responding, but G-Money would continue to go at YoungBoy and the NBA crew any chance he got. In a September Instagram live session, he would continue throwing shade at YoungBoy, mentioning that a Baton Rouge rapper got hot and left everyone behind, and saying that YoungBoy is scared of him and his gang.
These rappers in Baton Rouge be hating anyway, you hear me? These don't be sticking together down here. So what the fuck I look like getting you? When you hide or do this and do that and do that, you ain't sticking with you. All these down here, man. You heard me? Most of these head of man. You see, put your head down, nigga. And I can be by myself and you can be with 1,000, man. Yeah, for real. Yeah. If you ain't with us, you can't hang with my gang. And that's on God. Ain't no banging with the gang. I ain't tripping on no dissing on none of that, you heard me? It's all good. But just remember, I was there for now. I ain't never do no fake hating ass like us, you hear me?
G-Money would go on to diss YoungBoy's whole family and say that he's TBG until he dies.
Like on everything I love, man. You, your mama, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, whoever. Yeah, TBG Gorilla Gang, TBG till I die.
G would also claim to be respected on YoungBoy's native Chippewa Street, saying that he pulled up with his gun and that people had tried to protect YoungBoy.
I ran on Chippewa, man. You heard me? I'm respected out there. You know what I'm saying? I pulled up out there with a 38 when the whole chopper trying to save a. But I ain't gonna speak on it. You heard me? Way throwback. You heard me? 13, you know. 14, 15, 16. You know, throwback. Damn, man, who got a problem with Young around here? Now Young on the other side. Ain't crazy?
He would also diss YoungBoy's team, saying that everybody in TBG is a boss.
How you be how he a boss and he got a CEO and all that shit, you hear me? You know, that bullshit, they got run them. Don't nobody run nobody over here. Everybody bosses. Yeah, nothing but bosses over here. Be looking at niggas because they got money, man. Y'all think real? Make no real, man.
G-Money would even claim that YoungBoy got robbed and stripped and didn't retaliate, with his goons saying YoungBoy won't survive a beef with him.
You ain't do nothing about it. Boy, strip. You strip and you ain't do nothing about it. So how you think you could? So how you think you could tell me something? How you think you can go against me? How you think you can do that? You won't survive. Come on.
Clearly, this was a very personal beef aimed at YoungBoy and his crew. And at this point, both sides have made outright threats, declaring their intentions to kill their opposition. Now, it's been speculated that YoungBoy's manager, Big Dump, might have had something to do with potentially putting a price on G-Money's head. And in September, G-Money would seemingly be posting disses to YoungBoy on social media, all while giving clues as to his own exact location. In one video, G-Money, standing outside, would claim that YoungBoy started rapping and became a killer after he got a record deal.
Say, Lil, you know you ain't living like that, man. You get a deal and you done turn to a killer. When you start doing all that, man, you know you ain't cut like that, man. You know TBG been your muscle, boy. And the same you talking about usually don't live in jail, wherever they at, man. That's the same you out of Nouveau in the city, man. Yeah, you remember Will? Yeah, Will's out there. Yeah, you remember you ran out that store, man. You know what's happening with us, man. You hear me? Real. And I'm living out shit, you hear me? Everything you got with a deal, like I without a deal, man. You hear me? You know, 30 plus on my with no deal. Yeah, for real. Driving in $100,000 coupes man. Yeah, with no deal, boy. You better stop playing and stay in your place, son.
If you watch that clip carefully, you can see a window with white bars and black shutters beside it, with the building itself having red brickwork and a black security door. In this clip, G-Money is standing in front of a recording studio at the 1900 block of Dallas Drive that TBG were known to record at. This studio was also featured prominently in the music video for G-Money and Boulevard Quick's song Set Trippin'. And this studio is the exact location where G-Money would unfortunately lose his life. On the 10th of September 2017, G-Money would be seen on Instagram.
Bro, you would think that they, like, these are, at this moment, these are only teenagers, bro. These niggas are 16, 17 years old, and they are having full-blown war. You might as well put these niggas in the military. These niggas is, damn, like, I ain't even gonna say a lot.
His usual recording studio working on music, seemingly recording a YoungBoy diss song with lyrics where he says that your favorite rapper is a liar.
Favorite rapper line.
At around 1:30 AM, G-Money would be found shot in front of that very recording studio that he recently went live at. Fat Chapo, who was with him at the time of the shooting, said that G-Money was caught off guard by a shooter as he walked out of the studio.
I was the first out the door. I'm the one called for help. G walked out that door by himself. I told him before he walked out the door, like, he walked out the door on his own. And they start shooting. When they start shooting, I really didn't know what was going on because I heard a boom, but the music was playing, so it was kind of muffled. When as soon as the shooting stopped, I ran out the door. Nobody was I still never saw nobody. And I saw G laying right there on the ground. And once I seen him, all I could do is call 911. Try to get help.
Once police arrived, officers would be seen in the dark, taping off the scene and doing forensic work, and G-Money would end up leaving the scene in a coroner's van, just like the one that he had showed in his music video Industry, where he said that he would put his ops on the news. And the following morning, the news would indeed report on this tragic killing.
Baton Rouge police are looking into a deadly shooting that claimed the life of a local rapper. Police say someone shot and killed 22-year-old Garrett Burton on Dallas Street around 1:20 last night. Burton performed under the name G-Money. Right now, police have not named any suspects or motive. If you can help police or have any tips, you can report them anonymously to Crime Stoppers.
One of G-Money's closest friends and fellow TBG-affiliated rapper Fredo Bang, in a DJ Small Eyes interview, would recount breaking down in jail when he heard the news of G's death.
I just broke down in tears, like you know how a baby cry, and you know how a baby cry, just yell. I just sat there and locked up.
Scotty Kane would also react to G-Money's death, even telling followers that he was getting DMs telling him that he would be killed next.
Man, I wake up to some every day, man. My partner got killed in the morning. What the oh like that, son? Then it's sad to say, man. Talking about not even 25 yet. Like, come on, man. Like, it ain't that serious, son. Before I let you take me, dog, I'm slinging this. Whoever, whatever, and I don't care who love who, I'm going on my move. Get the on my DM talking about I'm next and all that. Man, I ain't worried about none of that. I ain't worried about none of that. Oh man, when it's my time regardless, but I ain't worried about none of that. Better stop playing with kill y'all, so I do not play about my life at all. I'm gonna step, yeah. I don't give I'm gonna die about it for real,
The day after G-Money was killed, it seemed that fans would attend the scene of the murder, filming the location and peculiarly finding a pillow on the ground. The presence of a bloody pillow at the murder scene would end up going viral, sparking a conspiracy theory that G-Money's killers threw a pillow on him after the assassination and told him to go to sleep, with these rumors being further fueled by YoungBoy lyrics that came out later, like the song Step On, where he says, "Lay your bed, I throw the pillow, police after all of my people." And even in his recent single Bitch Let's Do It, where he rapped that his crew will creep up on their ops and lay their heads on a pillow, with YoungBoy even doing an impression of a dying G Money laying on a pillow in the music video. However, for the record, this is just a conspiracy theory, and some of the more sensible YoungBoy fans would work out that this pillow was actually used by emergency medical staff that had attended the scene. But setting aside those rumors, once this went down, all eyes were on the NBA crew, but it would take years before the authorities were able to identify any of the people involved. DeAndre Fields, aka Lil Pap, or NBA Pap, actually the brother of NBA Ben 10, aka Ben Fields, who also got arrested for being in the car with YoungBoy in that same incident after Boozilla's death, where YoungBoy ended up getting the 10-year suspended sentence for. Now, Pap was eventually arrested on second-degree murder charges in connection with the murder of G Money, ultimately being bailed around June 2019.
A lot of you are reacting tonight to the arrest of this man, DeAndre Fields. Baton Rouge police say they arrested him years after the shooting death of a local rapper, Garrett Burton. Back in 2017, Burton went by the name of G Money. He was found shot to death in the parking lot on Dallas Drive there. Police arrested DeAndre Fields for second-degree murder.
And initially, Pap would plead not guilty, but some interesting information would eventually be revealed to the police when they interviewed him after the shooting. He actually told police that he had left Baton Rouge with his mother and son, fleeing to nearby New Roads about 40 minutes away from Baton Rouge after G Money was murdered. As well as this, when asked about his whereabouts on the night of September the 10th, 2017, Lil Pap claimed that he drove to Hammond to get gas. When detectives later obtained his phone records, this claim was proven to be false, as his records revealed that he was actually in Baton Rouge on the night of G Money's death. But perhaps the most shocking piece of information that Lil Pap shared with the police, which I can imagine was a huge driving force behind his indictment, is the following. After police asked Pap who among his friends would shoot people for the NBA group, he replied, "To be honest, me." Now, it's worth adding that in YoungBoy's very first album, Life Before Fame, all the way back in 2015, he basically admitted that he could call on Pap.
Dawg said, you know what? Keep it a G, bro. Me, I damn near do that shit, bro. I can't even throw it on nobody, bro. You know what? On some real shit, me.
What needs to be carried out in the streets on two occasions. Firstly, in the song NBA, and secondly, in the song I Know. Ultimately, Pap would end up pleading out on greatly reduced charges of accessory after the fact of murder and ultimately receiving a sentence of 5 years. Now, interestingly, Pap would go back and forth with the judge during his sentencing, saying that he is taking the deal, but he is 100% innocent. And interestingly, close friend of G Money, TBG rapper Fredo Bang, would later claim in numerous interviews that he did not believe Pap to be G's killer either.
Y'all started sending me that game. We still sending it to her. I was like, you seen it? You seen it? Yeah, I seen it. Police make arrests. Might be wrong. The man ain't do that. Brown.
Do you know the guy that's being charged? You said that you didn't think the guy that they're charging with the murder actually did it.
G Money's own mother would also post on social media saying they still haven't found the shooter of her son and they're still looking. Whether or not you believe NBA Pap when he says that he had nothing to do with the incident, what is clear is that the NBA crew, and YoungBoy specifically, would have the most to gain from G Money being no longer. And going forward, YoungBoy and other NBA members would reference what happened to G Money in numerous songs and videos. The month after G Money's murder, YoungBoy dropped his 10th project, Ain't Too Long, on October the 7th, 2017. This included a number of references to the G Money situation. Firstly, in the murder anthem Red Rum, where YoungBoy claims that he just raised the murder rate in his city. And then, in the song Poor One, YoungBoy seems to be talking directly to G Money throughout the song, alluding to the time when they had a friendship that was like a brotherhood before G Money betrayed YoungBoy's trust by sleeping with his sister and boasting about it online. In the same song, and in the same monologue directed at G Money, YoungBoy reveals that G Money introduced him to them boys who he didn't like for nothing. Them boys most likely being a reference to TBG. Before paying homage to his own fallen friends Boozilla and Lil Dave, YoungBoy would seemingly suggest that G Money had blamed him for drugs that went missing, which caused the tension between YoungBoy and his cousin Boozilla. In another song on the project titled War With Us, YoungBoy talks about the sorry state of affairs in Baton Rouge, saying that one particular week he saw 7 murders and that there is no helping his city. This was a bold lyric that painted a picture of a city completely out of control. The war in the Baton Rouge rap scene had gotten deadly, and now one of the most promising artists in that city was in the grave. With YoungBoy free of his main competition, going on to dominate the scene, releasing song after song and mixtape after mixtape, telling heartfelt tales of his first-hand experiences surviving in the trenches of Baton Rouge. But the biggest question remained. Was YoungBoy just a rapper making music about the violent war taking place in his city, or was he really the murder man, running his rap career like a gang kingpin and using his NBA crew as muscle to stop anyone who dared to get in their way?
All right, man. We're gonna end it right there. Part 3. We're gonna finish part 3, man. We're gonna end up part 2 right there. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, comment below. Y'all want me to continuously finish this video. This video is almost 5 hours long, bro. Should I do this on stream, bro? Y'all think I should do this on stream on Twitch and just go ahead and just watch the full thing, bro, on Twitch? Or y'all think I should continuously drop parts so we all can watch it here on YouTube? Y'all comment below. But that has been part 2 of YoungBoy, Real Killer or Faint Gangster. Y'all comment below. Y'all already know what we doing. New videos every day. We're trying to get this channel to 100K. So if you watching it, subscribe, like, comment. Don't be a jackass, man. I know y'all niggas be watching and don't be subscribing or liking. If you watching this video right now, subscribe and like it, man, because I know I'm gonna be doing plenty of NBA YoungBoy, and I know you're gonna continuously come back and watch the video. So you might as well subscribe so we can get to that number. But I'm getting tongue tied. Y'all can tell it's already 3:30. It's 3:30 in the morning, man. I've been up all day, no sleep. Y'all see hustling. But in that, we out. Peace. Love you guys to the next video. Peace.